You're getting talent cheap because people are sacking.
I won't say cheap anymore because once the market has set a price for talent, it's difficult to then bring anybody down. But yes, good people pay for themselves.
Okay. Vineeta, discretionary spending tends to get hit first in a high inflation environment. Are you seeing that at all?
So, I think firstly I agree with what Peyush said. I think in a bad market, good companies tend to thrive because they continue to have access to capital, and if the fundamentals are good, then you can continue growing. For us, because we were impacted by COVID because there the stepping out was lesser. So for us, it's been just phenomenal revenge buying because there was a combination of COVID getting over, consumers going back offline where 50% of our consumption was happening, and thirdly it was the festive, which is basically it starts from September, and in India, even in the worst of markets, we are emotional spenders during festive season. So we've had a fantastic quarter so far, and we're seeing again 100% growth over last year's numbers this festive season. There have been impacts on the raw material cost because of the USD, as well as certain petrochemical related ingredients have become globally expensive.
Right.
But because of the fact that it's a fundamentally higher gross margin business, we've managed to absorb that rather than pass that to the consumer. And we're not yet seeing any inflationary pressure or slowdown which some of the lower price point FMCG companies are seeing, because again our typical consumer is slightly more affluent, more metros, so their consumption's not been impacted. But of course everything is cyclical, so I'm very cautious about it because inflation ends up having an impact eventually on discretionary spends. Makeup is a very recession-proof kind of a category because it's very impulsive, and you have this lipstick effect where in the worst of slowdowns, women continue buying lipsticks because, and we saw that in the World War as well, because it's one of those, it's like a cheap thrill. It's like a, something that you do for yourself, and it doesn't cost much to lift your mood. So I do feel that, even if it does start receding as an economy, we'll still continue to grow. Again,
what is the kind of reach?
I think I have a different point of view on this. From a global perspective, there's a tech recession is there, it's real. And most of the tech companies in US have melted down significantly, 50% plus. Like a company which was, like Meta was $1 trillion, came down to 250 billion. It's a huge shave of wealth. Ab hota kya hai, this impacts India in a very different format. Each one of us got a multiple basis our revenue or something, which was defined in US. That US markets trade at this multiple. And now multiples for everybody has changed out there in a stable market that you used to compare with. How it is impacting India is a little different format which we'll see in next 1.5 years. Every one of us raised at an insane valuation in last 2 years. And all of us have cash. Now as the cash dries up and when you go out, each one who has raised will have to grow into the valuation they have been given, and the multiple has already changed. And there is actual recession happening globally. Look at the amount of money pulled out of India in last 6 months. $30 billion is out of the country already. Our local our direct investors from India have supported. Otherwise, this market would have crashed. And I was myself amazed on how much Indian investors could invest while all were pulling out. And as the interest rates go up there, now the person who's coming to India has to earn that interest plus currency devaluation. That means almost 14% return चाहिए अभी वहाँ के investor को अगर यहाँ पैसा डालना है. तो obviously they play it safe that 14 के ऊपर return आएगा तो return मिलेगा तभी निकाल रहे हैं पैसा. So my viewpoint is that India from a growth story, consumption story, I am a big fan and follower, and I don't see consumption patterns going down. In our case, we are growing 70% over a very large base this year also. So I agree that the story is intact. Men will differentiate from boys in this winter, is what I would say.
Or women from the girls?
Women from the girls, yeah, you can say it either ways, yeah, of course. No, I did not mean to have it in a gender specific.
She's just putting her leg.
So I think this winter will make sure that the people who have built fundamentally good businesses will survive and who focused on right levers, unit economics and getting the story right will survive now.
Yeah, cash, if you are a cash consuming business where to grow you need a lot of cash, then problems will start. If you have cash, you need to use that cash to turn profitable, and not just profitable, you need to have free cash flow.
You know, I think what would be very useful for our viewers before we wrap this is to get one survival mantra from each of you who are running successful businesses, to those who are watching, want to start a business, have just started a business and are wondering कि अगले 1.5-2 साल कैसे निकालें. So what is that survival mantra? Vineeta, let me start with you.
I think I would say cash is queen. Because there is, I mean, every founder should have clarity on what their runway is, which is defined not by, you know, the EBITDA or the profit, but your net cash burn, which is, you know, it could be inventory. For instance, in businesses like a lot of these brands come in, they have profit, but they have inventory. So they are burning cash every month to just, you know, increase the inventory that they hold. So I feel that everybody should know the runway that they have. And the biggest trick to building a fabulous business in the long term is to stay alive, I think. So don't shut down next 2 years, do whatever it takes, because markets will change, you know, the trends will change, and the only thing that you need is to be around when things get better.
So go into survival mode.
Absolutely. I mean, go into survival mode depending on how much cash you have in the bank.
Okay. What about you, Amit?
Look, my viewpoint is quite similar, Radha, because right now is not the time to be flamboyant. Use your capital right, conserve cash, increase runway as much as you can, and build from first principles. Dhanda banao. Don't chase valuations. And people who are chasing valuations will eventually end up getting nothing, is what I feel. So conserve cash at this stage. Don't invest in right areas where you practically think you have a leverage. When winter happens, it also brings about a big opportunity, if you were to ask me, because सब लोग खर्चा करना बंद करते हैं उस time पे, तो white space create होती है उस time. तो identify that white space where your money can get you the biggest bang back. So I would not just conserve cash for that reason. Invest in growth areas which can be your moats that can give you the leverage when the time comes. Consumption is increasing guaranteed, so you have to take a larger pie, win market shares.
What is your mantra, Peyush?
See, I do think profitability has to be focus, right? There is, especially businesses which have been around for quite some time. So I think profitability, I would say number one. I would also say double down where you feel that you have an opportunity, because in every downturn, the opportunity to gain market share is exponential, right? You can, what you would have planned to do in 3 years, you can potentially do in maybe 18 months. So I would double down on areas which you're confident about, not necessarily opening newer fronts, but where you feel, okay, I'm doing well, this is strong unit economics, I need scale, and this would again drive more profitability into the business. And third, I think, you know, increase the talent density even more, right? Use the opportunity to really level up the game. You know, if you have a good team, make it a great team. If you have a great team, make it an excellent team, right? Get rock stars. This is the time to do that. You know, very rarely you get opportunities like this, you know, to non-linearly grow the business also, right? So you have to have that good balance.
Okay, so you can turn this into a moment of opportunity.
इसमें ऐसा करना चाहिए, persistence बहुत matter करेगी. खुद को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा खुद उससे पूछे तेरी रज़ा क्या है. It is that time. Just believe in yourself.
Grit. I mean, you have to really run it like a, you know, disciplined war machine. You know, in the कि बस अभी ये मुझे तो ये डर लगता है कि जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा, right? What if this winter ends sooner? If the winter ends sooner, you have that much little time to really hire the best talent, double down on growth, and have that, you know, tightness in terms of cost. Where because organization also feel, you know, easy होता है if you tell a leader, अब भाई इतने cost में करना है when the market is bad, because they feel you are rational. So this is the market is giving you an opportunity to give a reason which you anyways need to tell your leader कि boss do more with less.
Tamanna, the winter is fundamentally good for good companies. I will be very candid.
Yeah.
जो first principle पे बनी company, उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा winter.